What's up? What's up? What is up? It's another Friday, another opportunity to get together and record the Ball Hawk Sports Talk. We are in the building. You see three faces, but you might see one face that is a little different than normal. We're going to make an introduction. Just hold your horses. Today's episode is called Transferring Energy, and we have a guest host, the one, the only. I'm gonna make sure I give my man from the Central Time Zone since it's a little
Central
earlier.
Coast.
What's it
Central
called?
Coast. Middle Coast.
Middle Coast, right
Middle
there
Coast.
off of Lake Michigan. The one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, thou who shall be known as and recognized internationally and even globally. Out of galactic. Intergalactic. I like that. The Big Flow Show coming to you from.
What's good, America? On the last show of the year, I know it's been 52. I think 50 weeks strong, right? I think we missed 2. 50 weeks strong this year. Been a great year of shows. Looking forward to give you one going out with the bang with our special guest.
Absolutely. Who shall now be known as, y'all see it as D Jones. My man, D Jones is Donald Jones, who not only played in the NFL for both the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots, but he also is one of the coaches of the newly cemented national champion New Jersey Dark Knights. Yes, we on the staff together, but more than that, he's my friend, he's my brother. He was an amazing wide receiver. He's got an amazing son. He's got amazing children, but his son was on our football team and a dynamic wide receiver. I gave him the nickname Killer because that is how he runs his routes. He's gonna bring the funk. He know how we do it. We do it rough, rugged, and raw as sports business entertainment. My man D Jones, thank you for coming and being a guest host. What's up with you, my brother?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Listen, thank you for having me on the show. They brought me on the last show of the year because they already knew what it was. You know what I mean? The most special show.
We don't have much budget left. Spent our budget up.
Yeah,
get D Jones in.
I got paid like $10 for this show.
There you go, man. And guess what? I need 9 of it back, baby, because I'm going.
That's a loan. That's a
loan.
But nah, man, we appreciate you, D Jones, man. And D Jones and I go at it a lot of times in terms of debate at practice when it comes to sports topics. We're gonna talk about this Monday Night Football game between the Bengals are playing. I don't know who they play, D Jones.
Listen, man, don't do that. Don't do that. You know what I mean? The Bills are playing the Bengals. That's right. We gotta go to Cincinnati and make it happen. This game basically is for number 1 seed home field advantage, which the Bills really need.
Because weather matters.
Weather matters. But I don't know, man. With the way Buffalo been getting hit, I don't even know if they can even play a game in Buffalo.
Yeah, man. It's honestly their weather.
Buffalo stole something from Jesus.
It seemed like, man,
mistreated.
That's what it seemed like, yo. It's crazy out there, man.
Being mistreated.
Last I seen it was like 37 people died. It's rough.
Yeah, the rest of them wish they died. Yeah. All that snow.
Yeah. All that snow. I think it's up to 28 now. 28 people died. So
37.
How many?
Sad.
37.
37. I'm
sad to die. I think about it's hard to die from snow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Like you get a hurricane comes in, but like snow.
But you know what? The weather, it wasn't just snow. It was like crazy winds. Like they can handle snow. They used to it. You know what I mean? But it was the crazy winds that they had. Like I seen pictures of gas stations just blown over. Like they didn't have power. So that's the thing. It knocked their power out for days. So you're talking about 0 degrees with no power, no heat, no nothing.
Yeah, that's crazy. And look, I want to make a joke about the Bengals knocking their power out in terms of the Bills, but I before I get into the back and forth with you, let's make sure we do recognize that there was a large and meaningful loss of life, man. So we send our condolences to everyone in that area. I did read a story about a young lady that got caught. She was only 6 minutes from home, but she got caught coming from work. People got stuck in their cars and died. And I know that the mayor is under.
I saw that. Did she try to make it?
She got caught in the car. So you got trapped in the car. I mean, you're gonna die. Like you're gonna freeze to death. And so a lot of people died because they were unable to make it home. And I know that the mayor is taking a lot of heat. A lot of heat. Their emergency response was indeed inept. And so let's make sure we do acknowledge and send our condolences to all the families that have been impacted by that. We'll get into the game later. And I guess we might as well start the show because that reminds us that this week we lost a Titan, a Goliath in terms of sport, and someone from a representation standpoint. When you think of athletes and you think of their impact on the world, Pelé takes a backseat to no one. And so we want to, and we've done several times, man, with some of our greats, but how dare we not take a very brief but meaningful moment of silence. We lost the great Pelé at 82 years young. Pelé died this week. And so let's take a moment of silence and pay our respects to the great Pelé. Before we start the show, man, let's because in looking at Pelé and all he did, and just what he meant to sport in general, I looked for the right words to say, and I found in an ESPN column these exact words, and I'm going to read them because I think it really echoes just how meaningful Pelé was. Pelé, the writer writes, Pelé, the word, meant something not just to fans, but also to folks who had never watched a football game, as well as to those who had but hated the sport. In that sense, he was David Beckham before David Beckham, Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan. He was the game's first globalized superstar by whatever metric you choose: commercial, media presence, wages. Oh, and he won 3 World Cups as well. Which didn't hurt. His impact on the game of soccer, man, was second to none. But his impact in sport, his impact in terms of representation as a descendant of Africa, a man of color that was a global icon, a Muhammad Ali type figure. So we want to pay our respects to Pelé on the heels of the World Cup being seen by billions of people globally. We have this tragic news, so we send our condolences to his family. I know we mourn as a sports family and as a sports community. I can only imagine in Brazil just how impactful this loss is. So we want to make sure we pay our respects. And with that, man, we got to get into the show. You know how we do it, man. Every week, it's sports, business, entertainment. We do it rough, rugged, and raw. It's the Ball Hawk Sports Talk. If you've never been a part of the experience that is known as the Ball Hawk Sports Talk, welcome to our show. We do it, and we do it big. This is the last show, as my man Big Flo Show pointed out. It's the last show of 2022. And today's episode is called Transferring Energy. Stay tuned and understand why, because we about to get it on, y'all. We about to get it on. And with that, let's go.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, and stay woke. Because this is the Ball Hawk Sports Talk with your boy, B. Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth of the South. This is the place where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And we're going to give it to you rough, rugged, and raw. So come get you a spoonful, like some grits with butter and salt. You know how we do it in the South, y'all. Make sure you do not get caught in your feelings. Strap on your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, baby.
Before we get started, I can't let you just sprint through Pelé and just give him the brief mention. First of all, it's Pelé.
Yes,
Pelé is, what I'm talking about. Try to fix you up a little bit. Straighten your collar up. But anyway, my family's from Haiti, big soccer people. I have an uncle that was born on the same day as Pelé, so I hope he gives us 10, 15, 20 more years and doesn't succumb. He started a soccer program called the Pelé Stars that was a big in our hometown, introducing soccer the island way, I guess you'd say, to Evanston, Illinois. So I sent my condolences out to a lot of my family members when he passed, because I know that they looked at that like to us, if Jordan died, you know what I mean? When I was growing up, it was like Bruce Lee, Pelé, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like those was before Jordan and Peyton came up, that was kind of who you looked at as like the superstars of the earth. So I know it's a big loss to a lot of people. People don't want to see, Messi is getting mentioned as like the greatest of all time. And I know that's blasphemy to a lot of people in my family. So I know it's a big deal. He's lost. He's 82 years old. I would love to live that long, but I don't know. I just want to give him a little shout out special from the Haitian perspective.
Amen, my brother. And he cannot get too much praise. That's for sure. And you like I said, the writer said ESPN, like David Beckham before David Beckham. That's saying something, man. Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan, and I would even throw in Muhammad Ali, right, in terms of his globalization as an icon, man. So Pelé is how I pronounce it. I messed it up.
Pelé.
No,
I think you're good. Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah.
Pelé.
My southern accent, man. My tongue don't pronounce everything, man. So, but I do pay my respects, man. And from the non-Haitian perspective, I ain't know nothing about soccer until I learned about Pelé. To be honest, and what's the kick called? The
bicycle kick.
The bicycle kick. I mean that clip itself.
And you still don't see people using it like he did.
Nah, he was nasty with it. He was nasty
with it. It's he's one of those people that even though he was obviously early, he transcended the sport, right? Like Steph Curry transcended basketball with the 3-point shot. Yeah. You're talking about somebody who these kids now that are doing it, like you said, you don't see anybody doing it like he did it, but they wish they could have a moment to do a bicycle kick. You know what I mean? Right. That's ESPN top 10. So he was doing it before ESPN had a top 10.
Yeah. Facts. Everybody who's in the Ball Hog Sports Talk, I see everybody saying good morning. Good morning to y'all, man. I'm from the South. We got good manners. How dare I not say good morning? As always, we'll start off.
Hello, Sandra Pierre. Welcome. My lovely friend from childhood, Sandra Pierre, showing up today.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up. We ask you humbly.
In case y'all was questioning, everybody Haitian.
Everybody Haitian, deep down. Yeah. You didn't know you was Haitian, did you, D. Jones? Yeah, he gives us Jones. Haitian. Yeah.
If I can put an accent on your name, but Jones too tough, I can't do it.
No, listen, I can Jones. We can.
Jones. Okay, that's a good one, Jones. That's
what you are going for, please, Jones. Please don't feed into this. Look how bright you smile when you said like that.
Yeah. But should I fulfill my promise in the beginning or the end of the show? About your beloved Massage Envy.
Oh no! Hey, I'm gonna tee you up right now.
Let's tee that up. Okay.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this right now because I see everybody saying good morning, and we ask you humbly, like we do every week. Please like, please comment, please share, please tag a friend, please tag a foe, please tag anybody that you know, and please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and the podcast. The Ball Hog Sports Talk is here. And with your help, that will cost you nothing. We ain't asking for no money. It'll cost you 3 seconds. A little bit of consideration. And this is transferring energy. Transfer some good energy. Put it out there in the space so we can get into more people's mobile device, into more people's computer, into more people's barbershops. Help us help other people. And with that, in this transferring energy episode, the Big Flow Show out there in the Windy City, I saw him post something, and I just couldn't wait to get to this point in the show. And so, because we do it rough, working, and raw, because we ain't putting on no Band-Aid, we gonna start off the show with violence, and we gonna get to the point by the end of the show as we look forward to 2023. We gonna put violence behind us, but this is 2022, and something is on my man's heart and on his brain, and so we gotta make sure we put it out there. The Big Flow Show, the flow is yours, my brother.
Let me just start off by saying I had a bad experience. Okay, a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half, I don't know. I don't want to admit how long ago it was. My wife said, hey, listen, I got these extra massages. It's called Massage Envy. Why don't you, treat yourself. Go get a massage. So I went in there, got the deep tissue, the elbows. I think lady might have put her heel in my back. I don't know. Felt great. I got caught up in the moment. I said, why don't you sign up? You too could have one of these every month. I said, man, that would be a perfect way to relieve my stress. I have a stressful life. I got tension between the shoulders. Okay, I signed up. My wife did say, "Oh, you signed up?" I didn't like the way she asked the question, but I should have seen what was coming ahead. So maybe the first month or two I got in there, but then sooner or later it became a point where you couldn't get a massage for a month, 6 weeks out. If my back hurts, I need a massage today or tomorrow. If I'm hungry, I want to eat today or tomorrow, or today or later today, I should say. I'm not trying to schedule my stuff 6 weeks out, try to figure out when my back is going to be sore. So a couple of months go by, I haven't used it. It's gone a while. But the way they get you, this is how they get you. You never lose that massage. So I got this big knapsack full of massages that I can't use, or that I can use if I want to use it. I can't give them to people, so they slick. I could give them out as Christmas gifts and everything would be great. Nope, you got to use them yourself. You can give one to one person. Fast forward, I finally say I got to cancel this thing. I'm tired of seeing the charge go through. My little $65 a month, I could use that doing something else. So you call to cancel, and that's where they get you to say, you got to come in and cancel with a manager. I said, all right, I don't like that, but I drove up. I got there. Manager ain't here. You can't cancel. I couldn't put this on my Facebook post, but I cussed the lady out. Okay, that might have been Karen-esque, whatever you want to call it, but I cussed the young lady out. Okay,
I'm sure
I had to act the fool. I had to make sure everybody in there went home and say, man, you should have seen this brother came in here and he wasn't very excited. So I cussed her out. And then I came and I said, when I left, I said, I'm going to trash y'all on social media and I'm going to do a podcast on you. So I went and did my little post on social media, getting all my little hugs from people, all my support, because I got soldiers on my team. So I got all the Facebook hugs. People got they adding their story. It happened to me too. This happened before. I'm walking in there. Everybody's coming, likes, whatever. So I said, get them on Twitter. I said, I went to Twitter, hit Massage Envy Corporate, told them I got a podcast this week. I'm going to talk about y'all, and I'm going to mention you every week going forward. I've been getting so many nice, gentle voicemails from people. Hi, this is Amber from Massage Envy, and I just like to talk to you. And you know, sometimes I don't like to be talked off the ledge. So luckily, we haven't been able to connect because I didn't want to back out of my promises. So if you got a stocking stuffer this year, that nice Massage Envy, you get in there, the lady or the gentleman makes you feel nice and relaxed. It's a trap. Because there's a much more stress down the road when you try to get out of that.
We try to get out of it.
Do not sign up for
$65 a month.
Envy.
That's what they charge.
Scam.
$65 a month.
I think you get a massage for $60 a month. You might as well realize you ain't gonna get to use it. So pay the $120 and go to the real joints and get it set up. So that's my public service announcement to all the listeners. Please like, share, comment, and put that out there in the world. I want to get my value out of Massage Envy for having to drive all the way. Use up my good gas.
And other people do that because they'll get you like that for like a gym. Yeah. They won't let you just cancel over the phone. And when anybody makes it inconvenient for you to do something like save my own damn money, you gotta be like, oh, look, this is my money. You telling me there are stipulations to how I can protect my money? Like you didn't help me make it, but you gonna be warned. And in this episode, like this whole transferring energy thing. Because the truth of the matter is, until you acted ignorant and called that lady everything but a child of God,
right,
and said that you were going to put her on blast, with nobody from corporate giving a damn about no regular, I ain't going to say your whole government, about the big flow show, right, and called your phone, and so it's a transference of energy.
Did you tell her you was a child of God before you walked out? After you cursed her out, like, I'm a child of God.
So by the way, praise it.
Jesus loves you.
Merry Christmas.
Loud as hell. But why would you want somebody to come in there? This is where they realize they must not do a lot of stuff with melanated people that act a fool when we get upset. Why are you going to make me drive in there pissed off?
Right.
What you thought I was going to be quiet when I got in there? I came in there loud. I came in here to cancel. I came in loud from the start because I don't like you made me drive over here. Oh, the manager, she was so happy the manager ain't here. You didn't say, Mother, may I? Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
That's making it worse.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm like, that bullshit around. Let's go. And I'm going ham. I want everybody back in the back to be like, who's in the front? And if I come back again, I'm going to act the fool again. I'm going to cause a scene and everybody going to be in there is going to understand what was that all about. You're going to have to explain or just let me cancel on the phone. Y'all already
I
got
don't
my
know
money.
why people think that. I mean, they, look, let's be honest, right? From a business standpoint, they feel as though if they make it as inconvenient as possible for someone that's been paying the $65 regularly over the several months, and they make it as inconvenient as possible, you got the $65.
Yeah.
Right. So they think you're gonna give up. But little do they know. See, that's that Haitian in you right there, boy. See, you know what I'm saying? You ain't messing around. You call that woman out her name, man. You know what I'm saying? You call that woman out her name, man. Because
no, I didn't do that. I don't call women out their name. I didn't
or
do that.
not the woman
I
herself.
said bad things,
You
and a
said
lot
that.
of those
You're
things
right.
you
You're
can't
right.
say at church. I couldn't put them on Facebook, but I would never call a woman out her name.
Imagine being in there getting a massage, and they got the music playing, and it's nice and relaxed in the room, and then all of a sudden you just hear some commotion in the other room. You mess up your whole massage. The person that's doing it, your head is face down.
Everybody got to have a
little
bad day.
pillow thing, and your massage is all messed up.
People who know me, they know I live by a motto. I'll never be the only one that's mad. I'm allergic to that. If I'm gonna be mad and I'm having a bad day, you have to share with me. I'm too generous. I can't keep things to myself. I'm way too generous.
They hurt people, man.
Yeah, hurt people. I was hurt.
People, man.
Yeah.
I was hurt people, baby. Yes, they do. And I'm glad that you were able to transfer some of that hurt back on them, man.
I gave them the same energy.
Massage envy. That's the name of it, right? Massage envy.
Yeah,
Let's say
massage envy.
Massage envy. Y'all get it right, man. Y'all get it right. Because in 2022, as we get ready to look forward to 2023, you see, I came and I'm normally in shirt and tie. I'm in a cutoff shirt with my hat backwards. I just felt like it was going to be that kind of show. So I'm glad you started with that. And
I'm glad you showed us the ND because I thought you was in draws. Until I thought that was some draws t-shirt. You look kind of tired, but now they see the ND and feel better about it.
Yeah, it's ND on there, man, because it's bowl season. So
I thought we was inconveniencing you.
He said he thought he was in draws. Let's we paid our respects to Pelé, and let's make sure that we also salute JJ Watt. JJ Watt said this week that he is going to retire after this year. And look, man, from a defensive end perspective, he did things. He put up big numbers. He's he's absolutely a first ballot Hall of Famer. He talking about transferring energy. Has passed it on to both his little brothers. They doing things now, big things in the NFL. So salute, man. Shout out to JJ Watt. He did it well. So I know Arizona this year probably is not really where a guy wants to be in his final year, but it is what it is. JJ Watt, bravo, man, for a great career.
From walk-on to Hall of Famer. That's a great
story. Yeah, man. Walk-on Hall of Famer. That's a great story. You talking about a guy, yes, that put up great numbers throughout his career, took over games, was always considered one of the best at his position. And I think to be in the Hall of Fame, you got to be considered one of the best at your position. I would also, I don't really want to throw some shade in there, but
man, throw it. That's what it's
the Hall of Fame is. I know some guys that should be in the Hall of Fame that won't get in because the writers don't like them.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
I got one. I'll throw one out there. Asante Samuel should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, man.
We'll never make it.
My guy Ruben Brown will never make it because
Ruben Brown will make it.
No,
huh?
They hated him.
Huh?
Yeah. Ruben Brown. Ruben played in Buffalo for years. Went to like 8 Pro Bowls.
Yeah, but you don't think he'll make it?
No,
he won't make it. Nah, because he played mostly in Buffalo. That's where all of his Pro Bowls were, the local media has to basically vote you into the national media, and they're the ones that vote you into the Hall of Fame. The local media can't stand with them.
Oh, see, I do think they give it's a network. The media gets way too much control, and that really bothers me with that. Bryant Young, he just got in this last year. He's a teammate of mine, and one of the reasons why I'm in corporate America is because he kept me off the field. But he didn't make it his first ballot, and a bunch of offensive linemen wrote in and said this is ridiculous. He was a goon, and he got in the next year. Yeah, and
but
it wasn't for that.
To D Jones's point, Brian Young is loved by everybody. So if you got a campaign like that on your side, right? But to think of it, like it's supposed to be pure merit. It's supposed to be about what you did as a football player, not all the other stuff. Right. I think.
That's what it's supposed to be. But everything becomes a popularity contest, whether you're talking about Hall of Fame, Pro Bowl, doesn't matter, man. Like even the Man of the Year, you could have did like everything in your community, and you won't get it because somebody else is more popular than you. You know?
Didn't your boy get it? What's his name? The helmet guy?
The helmet guy.
He's a Brown. The dude, the defensive end. Didn't he get it the next year?
Called him the helmet guy.
The helmet guy,
Miles Garrett.
Miles Garrett. Didn't he get it? Turn around and
Hey,
get
that was one bad moment. You gonna
But
call
I
him the
just
helmet guy?
laughed. Hey, talk about redemption, though. You went from being just everybody thought you were a jerk to I think he got NFL Man of the Year last year, didn't he?
I don't know if he got Man of the Year.
I know he was in Cleveland. I don't know if he got the national.
I don't know if he got
Oh,
Man
is that how
of
it
the Year.
goes? I never.
Yeah, I don't know.
nominated.
I don't know if he got Man
Was
of
it
the Year.
Calais Campbell?
Yeah. Every team gets one. Say again.
Oh,
I think it was Calais Campbell.
Yeah, I don't know who got. Yeah, I
okay,
don't
so
know
maybe
who
it's
won
just
it
his
for the
thing.
league.
Let me see.
But yeah, he got the one for Cleveland itself.
You look it up.
But that great point, man, in terms of Hall of
I'll look
Fame.
it
But JJ Watt, shout out to you because he's got both sides. He was well loved by the media. His numbers will stick out because of just how well loved he was. The way people present numbers is very interesting because I just said Asante Samuels, when people present his numbers like, oh, he was a scheme guy. That's why he got interceptions. It's just interesting how the likeliness or likability or lack thereof impacts those decisions. But I say all that, and I still say great career, rather, JJ Watt, as you move on to probably a great job in media. And I'm not gonna soil this part of the show by saying something derogatory, but yeah, there will be a media spot waiting on JJ Watt.
Well, millions.
Guaranteed.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
Waiting. He's probably already been offered. That's why he decided to retire.
For real.
You know, and Andrew Woodworth won that last year too.
Andrew Woodworth won the man here. All right, good stuff. Let's hop into some other stuff, man, because while we are getting ready for 2022 to end, while we're getting ready for that new good energy of 2023, there's some energy that has remained consistent from the beginning of time. I'm talking about back when the man used to wear the hat that I like to wear, the fedoras. There's these words that we like to hear. My man Stone Jackson, talking about your massage envy thing, says he had the same issue with New York Sports Club. These people slick, boy. They slick. Put them on blast, y'all. We transferring energy. Let's transfer that same energy. You know what I mean? When they try to call you Big Flo, say, nah, the manager ain't here yet. I don't want to talk yet. We ain't ready for that yet. But there's been some energy that has remained consistent. We've heard these words over and over again. Over the last 2 weeks, we've heard these words, and they go by, and I can't believe I'm gonna say them, so I'm just quoting y'all. Don't put these words on me. I'm quoting my big brother and my nephew and all the people that we all know that say these words. How about them Cowboys? Week 17 started last night with the Cowboys beating the Tennessee Titans. And we've heard those words last night. We've heard the words this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and address it in this episode of Transferring Energy because I want y'all to keep the same energy when we go through this segment of it. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah.
Are the Cowboys for real? Because now it's been 2 weeks of them beating up on a backup quarterback. They started with Gardner Minshew. They beat a man named Gardner Minshew. And you would have thought that they won the doggone Super Bowl. Yes, it was the Eagles. Yes, it was division. Yes, it was an important game. Now, this week, they beat a man by the name of Josh Dobbs, who I think Josh Dobbs is probably the smartest man in the NFL. I think he got like a NASA job waiting on him when he's done. He's an astro. He got a degree that I can't pronounce. Whatever it is,
because you got all of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's an astrophysicist, whatever it is. The man is smart, but we have never accused him of being a great starting quarterback. But yet, after beating two backup quarterbacks, yet after Dak Prescott going out there and looking pedestrian at best, yet because last night they went into the fourth quarter, they were only up 17-13. Yet, after all of that, we still hear them saying words. How about them Cowboys? So I want to know, how about them Cowboys? Because we're going to transfer energy. I'm going to be just as ridiculous as y'all are. I'll start with you on it, D. Jones. I'll ask you the question, the rhetorical, universal question that these Avid
Delusional.
fans ask, how about them Cowboys? What say you?
Man, I can't. I'm just gonna start this with I'm from Jersey. I grew up a Giants fan, so the hate for the Cowboys is just there. So if there's any Cowboys fans listening, just know that my hate for them is there. Now it's a little bit more personal because the Cowboys doctors, when I went to the combine, they were the ones that told me you're not going to get drafted because of your kidney disease. All right, so
I
mine
didn't
is a
know
little
that
bit
before
more
I asked the
personal.
question. Let's go in then. Go in.
Yeah. So I can't stand the Cowboys. Now I'm just gonna say this. I think Dak Prescott is gonna cost them a playoff game. I don't know if it's gonna be in their first round game or second round game. Depends on who they play in the first round, because they might end up playing the Panthers, which is terrible. Which is just so they can get off the schneid, as they would say, and win a playoff game. But he is going to be they might lose to them because he's throwing interceptions left and right. And once you get into the playoffs, you cannot turn the ball over.
Right.
So I think Dak Prescott is going to be Dak Prescott. As Stephen A always says, he's going, it's going to happen. At some point, it's bound to happen. Something is going to happen and they're going to lose. And everybody that's not a Cowboys fan is just going to be happy. The Cowboys, man, listen, Cowboys fans are the reason. If you're not a Cowboys fan, you hate the Cowboys. Like, I don't have any discourse towards the Browns. I had to slide that in there for you, Bobby.
Thank you.
I don't have any hate towards the Browns. You know what I mean? But if you're not a Cowboys fan, you can't stand them. And it's even like this. If my Bills lose, but the Cowboys lose, I'm cool.
You're good. You're at zero. I know.
So
I don't even have the reasons that you have to hate the Cowboys. I just hate them. I just hate the Cowboy fans. I can't stand them. Just running it. America's team. Who says who? I got 31 other cities that tell you that you're not America's team. I can't stand hearing that stuff. I think Dak is trash. I really don't see him doing it. I like CD Lamb, though. I ain't gonna lie. I do like CD Lamb. I think Zeke is trash. I don't even like the way that they use Zeke bothers me. Like he scored in every. Did he score last night?
I'm proud to say I don't know. I didn't watch.
I think he scored in 8 straight. But if you look at it, they got the I hate that I don't know his name. Number 20, the younger dude, the running back,
Pollard.
He been balling. They let him get all the way down there, and then they just give it.
Then they give it to Zeke.
It got something on my nerve, and then they talk about, hey, he's scored in 8 straight games. Man, damn, he's trash. He shouldn't even be out there no more. But you messing up my man over here, putting in all this work, and then you want to just give it to him. And that just summarizes how the Cowboys are. Just they put you in situations. They want to brag about a win. They beat a dude. I didn't even know he was still in the NFL.
I didn't either.
I didn't know he was still out there. It's like the third straight. He didn't know. I thought he played okay, though, to be honest with you.
He did play okay, but they just don't have it.
He didn't know he was still in the NFL.
He didn't know he was still in the league. He thought he was a season ticket holder. He just thought he was at the game. And so last 2 weeks, they beat guys that
we need to come play real quick.
He said he didn't know. He got a call that morning. Hey, bro, report. I need you. Hey, my man Ray Zod said
he had one of the big trades to sell pop. He was like, "Oh, play? Oh, me? That's not in my contract, man. Where in my contract does it say play?"
Oh, man.
What
up, Ray Z? Ray Z in the building. He says he's overrated. Y'all weigh in, man, because honestly,
Ray Z. Hey, look, man. Shout out to Ray Z. Ray Z is in Egypt right now watching us.
That's what's up, man. We international. Pimping. What's up, good
over there with the Pharaohs?
Internationally,
seen him over there with the pictures, man. Enjoy yourself, doggy. Hey, I'll say this though, because I put it out there. How about them Cowboys? In this episode of Transferring Energy, and I would agree with you, the Big Flow Show. I like my team. Everybody else, I'm okay with their fans cheering for their team. What I have noticed about Cowboys fans, and I noticed at an early age, because I grew up with one. Right, my big brother, I love him to death, man. He's my icon, my idol. He was everything that I wanted to be, other than a Cowboys fan. They are the most obnoxious human beings on the planet. And we transfer energy. Y'all try to call us haters. Where the hate at? We're not hating. We are just responding to the energy that you are giving out because you beat 2 backup quarterbacks. Facts. You play with a quarterback that looks very average. Facts. You always come up short in the playoffs for the last 30 years. Facts. And yet every year you tell us Anybody with ears, with a heartbeat that will listen, you tell us that this is your year. Every time you win a game that you're supposed to win, which you should have won the last 2 weeks, facts, you then come back with how about them Cowboys? You're annoying human beings, and so we're just transferring your energy back to you. And that's all it is. Ain't nobody hating on you. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Tell me I'm wrong, Cowboys fans. I want to hear from y'all.
They played the Tennessee, everybody that they cut back in the summertime, they brought back to play against the Cowboys last night. They had nobody on their regular roster played last night. It was like the backup, Tennessee the whole line was backups. The defense was backups. No Derrick Henry. They ain't even had a second string running back playing last night. So they played a backup team.
We them
replacements.
We them boys.
What that mean? What's up, Joe Mo? It's okay, man. I like that. I want to hear from all the Cowboys fans, but they gonna call everything hate. It ain't hate. It is transferring in. I'm giving you the same energy you giving us, man. Because every Monday morning, when y'all have the audacity to somehow slip through the cracks and win a game, the first thing I see on any social media platform is some Cowboys fan with his head all out the window being a jerk. Come on, man. Y'all got to learn how to just be fans, man.
Yeah,
how about them Cowboys? How about them? What you mean?
Crazy,
what does that mean anyway?
I was at that basketball game last night at Rutgers, and it was like 10 of them sitting around me. And I started feeling sick. You know what I mean? Like I was getting, I don't even know. But then they were like, we going to watch the game. We about to go to Fridays or something. I'm like, all 10 of y'all to watch y'all play the Titans, right. The backups. That's crazy.
And Drake from head to toe, like what every Christmas they keep just putting stocking stuffers. First of all, no grown man. Look, I wear my brown stuff. I might wear a hat and a shirt, right? I might wear a jacket and maybe like what are them things, the mask or something. But I'm not going head to toe.
Ascot or something.
Like something like I might rock an ascot on you, something like that. But I'm not gonna go head. If you own a pair of Dallas Cowboy draws, you need counseling, man. As a grown man, you shouldn't be in there with those size 42 draws. That's Dallas Cowboys. Don't no buck draws. Dallas Cowboys on it. You need counseling. That's what you need. You need Jesus. That's what you need.
I will be honest. As a former player. And I've done autograph signings, and I've seen and been asked to do some crazy things in these signings. Like this one dude had a portrait of my boy Stevie Johnson tatted on his arm.
Oh Lord! Which
is like you got another grown man tatted on you. That's crazy.
Dedication.
I had one dude ask me if I could Sharpie sign. He had a newborn baby at an autograph session where thousands of people. He had a newborn. It was like, yo, can you sign his arm? I'm like, bro, if you don't go get a piece of paper or something, I'm not signing your newborn baby's arm with a Sharpie. What are we talking? It's some crazy
kids in college and people hand you their baby and take a picture. I'm like, I'm a lineman. I don't have good hands. Why are you handing me your baby? Like, what are you doing?
You know? There's some crazy fans out here, but
there are some fans that go overboard, and we get that because Notre Dame's the same way. But the thing I'll say about Notre Dame fans, I just don't think we as obnoxious as Cowboys fans, like there are people, Yankees fans really love their Yankees, but they don't see Cowboys take the whole fandom thing and they just put something like it's just extra. It's just something about y'all, man. I got on my Notre Dame stuff. I got on a hat and a shirt. And I'm going to talk about Notre Dame and get to the bowl section of this particular show. And you better believe I'm going to tune in today at 3:30. But I'll at least remain objective. When Notre Dame's sorry, I can say it out my mouth. Like, yeah, we sorry this year, right? And the same seems to be true with other teams. Cowboy fans, they live in the city of denial. Their objective eyes are blind. They literally, I think, have been brainwashed by Jerry Jones himself. Jomo Davis, I get you on that, man. He says, I'm good with the hate, man. One of our listeners and participants offers in the live segment. He says, real talk, I'm good with the hate, man. I gave up the star after Jerry Jones' non-response as well as his history of hiring. But a lot of people forget that now. Jerry Jones, boy, woo. But I'll leave it there. We'll start with week 17 with the Cowboys. Now we're going to fast forward because that was Thursday night. Monday night is going to be a game of all games. And we brought on our resident expert, that you'll get the last word when it comes to this Monday Night Football game. We're going to start with you on this one, Big Flow Show. We got a Monday night game that's for all the marbles when it comes to the AFC. You have the Buffalo Bills. They got to travel to Cincinnati to play them Bengals. And we know we have two of the baddest quarterbacks in all of football. It's the next generation of quarterbacks. When you talk about this matchup, Joe Cool doing his thing, but that guy over there in Buffalo, I like how he plays the game. What do you see Monday Night Football? We have two of the best quarterbacks playing. We've got all the marbles. We got a hot team because the Bengals are hot. But I'll be remiss if I didn't say, Buffalo Bills just look from top to bottom. I said in the beginning of this year, they look like a really good team. Who you have coming out of it and why, before we turn it over to our resident expert when it comes to the inside scoop of the Bills, who you got on this one, man? Big Flow Show.
I tell you, I've been riding these Bills, man. I like the Bills Mafia, all that. I buy in. I've been good, but I just feel like when I've been watching some of these games, they falter here and there, and just sometimes they disappoint. So I gotta go with the Bengals. I got to go with the Bengals on this one. I think Joe Cool gonna smoke a cigar at the end of it. I just see the Bengals in this one. I don't know why. That's where my energy is going, and I don't know. I'm not gonna be mad if Buffalo wins because I do like the Bills, but something just tell me the stage is going to.
You think either team? I ask you, Big Flow Show, because I already know what my man D Jones gonna say. Do you think either team can win the Super Bowl? So they're fighting for the home field advantage in the AFC. Are either one of these teams, you think, ready for a Super Bowl championship coming out of the AFC?
No.
You still AFC? Who do you pick? Do you think either one comes out of the AFC, or you still go KC?
I go KC.
You go KC. All right, so I'm gonna turn it over. I know what you're about to say. I know which direction you're going. I just want you, Counselor D Jones, if you will, because we got this jury of people, the audience here. If you will, Counselor Jones, I know which direction you're going, but can you please convince the jury as to why the Buffalo Bills should be the favorite to win this game on Monday night?
I really don't like to go through this with Bobby, as we go back and forth so much. And he really has no argument because he's a Browns fan.
Hey, leave us out of this. We talking playoffs. We ain't got nothing to do with this right now. Playoffs.
Nah, so here's the thing. The Bengals they like the hottest team in the league right now. Other than the Eagles just lost. But the Bengals are playing hot. They got a lot of weapons for Joe Burrow to get the ball to. And they use them all. It's not just Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, the running backs that they have over there.
Yeah.
They got a solid line that's really blocking for them.
I love Mixon.
That's a good team,
Yeah.
So they are scary. And to be honest with you, the Bills defense has not been a dominant defense. They've been giving up a lot of points week in and week out. It's just the Bills offense has been scoring points. So the Bills offense far short because of all of the shoveling they had to do. Nah, you're right, man. They had 6.5 feet of snow, and then 2 weeks later had another 2 feet of snow. It's crazy. Anyway, so they the defense, and now you don't have Von Miller, so you don't have the guy that you paid all this money, hundreds of millions of dollars, to come over and get to these quarterbacks. You don't have him, and the younger guys, they'll get there every now and then, but it's not a consistent thing, and none of those guys are taking over the game. And then you got the back end of the defense. You don't have Micah Hyde. And Micah Hyde is really the guy that gets everybody in the right place and the guy that is the quarterback of the defense, period. The guy that they have playing free safety now, number 3, he has not been playing well. You see him taking, if it's one thing I can't stand as a former player and as a coach now, I can't stand bad angles. And for you to be in the league and constantly be taking bad angles, it just bothers me. And this guy is just constantly taking bad angles on whether he's going to make a tackle, whether he's trying to get an interception. It's crazy. You're like, bro, how did you get here taking these angles? But
that's a whole nother topic. But the defensive back coaches in the NFL now, that's a different topic for a different show. We got to bring it back on. But The fact you call him number 3, you won't even commit his name to memory.
Nah, man, I'm not putting his name in there, man.
You're just
I'm telling you, he pisses me off every game. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Even Killer Kayan knows he like that. What is he doing? Like, this guy is bugging back there, you know. So the back end of defense, Tre'Davious White, you know, he's coming off the ACL. He has not been. It typically takes 2 years for you to start to feel 100%. So he's coming back. He's come back quick. And he's not playing like he normally would as a top-tier corner. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about some good receivers and a quarterback that'll get them the ball. So that's why it always seems like everything is on Josh Allen, because it is, you know. And don't get me wrong, he makes the plays and their offense. And
Diggs is a bad man. He got his own bad receiver too now.
Diggs is a bad man. Gabe Davis is a bad man.
Bad man. I like Gabe Davis.
Isaiah McKenzie, all those boys. Dawson Knox
from Bryan County. Isaiah McKenzie from Bryan County. My bad. Go ahead.
God. So they making plays. I'm gonna tell you the one thing that I'm starting to like about the Bills, they're starting to run the ball a little bit more, because we all know you got to be able to run the ball in the playoffs. Like, you got to be able to play defense and run the ball, and especially in Buffalo when the weather could be whatever it's going to be. So you know, they're starting to run the ball a lot better with Cook. Dalvin Cook's little brother, you know, James Cook, and also Devin Singletary. They're looking good on the offense, but the defense scares me, especially against the Bengals offense. So I don't really know what to think about this game, to be honest with you. I'm a little nervous.
Do you think either team is, because this is sort of, you know, the Josh Allen and Joe Burrow thing is this glimpse into the future in terms of who you think are going to be the staple quarterbacks of the NFL going forward. Are either one of those quarterbacks? We saw Joe Cool come up just short last year. Same with Josh Allen, kind of came up just short. Do you think either one of these quarterbacks are ready this year? If indeed they come out of the AFC, are they ready to hoist the Lombardi Trophy as champions? Are they ready yet? Is it that chapter in each or either one of their careers?
I think that the Super Bowl champ will come from the AFC. When I look at the NFC and the quarterbacks on the NFC side, right, like the quarterbacks that are going to be, that you would imagine to be there at the end, the best one that you can think of is Dak Prescott. And I'm not going with Dak Prescott to
I'm going Jalen Hurts, man. Jalen Hurts better than Dak.
You think Jalen Hurts better than Dak? You can say that, you know. Now listen, the Eagles have a really good defense, and they've designed a system around Jalen Hurts to be able to, you know what I mean? So he plays well in that system, and they make plays. He has good receivers, great receivers that are making plays for him. I think on the AFC, man, that those quarterbacks, those young quarterbacks, are the best quarterbacks in the league. Whether you're talking about Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, what's the kid, Herbert out in LA.
Yeah. And until this week, let's be fair, until this week, and I know this week was really bad. Until this week, Tua had been playing his butt off for the last several weeks, but definitely this last week he gave 3 gift interceptions.
You said,
you said Kirk Cousins. You're just going to ignore Kirk Cousins.
I got to
come back here.
I'm not. Stop playing. I don't believe in that. I'm going to go ahead and say I know he wins games.
They remind me of the Cowboys, to be honest with you. Minnesota, just can we get lucky, come back and win? It's obnoxious.
If I had $3 left in my bank account and they said, you know, I mean, you got to bet on Kirk Cousins, I'm just gonna keep the $3. I'll figure out how to go do something else and flip it. But I'm not betting on Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, y'all got to get off Kirk Cousins, man. How many times he got to prove himself where y'all start to get?
He does keep winning, but I'm good.
Come on, man.
He is nothing.
Kirk Cousins, man. Y'all lasted RG3.
I think let's go. The wild card is Lamar Jackson. If he comes back and he plays, you know, what he's going to.
What are they saying about him?
Supposed to be back.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything coming out of Baltimore.
Supposed to be back, depending on what they're looking like. Supposed to be back, but to me, with a PCL and more importantly, with a contract that has not been signed yet, just relax, dog. Chill, figure it out, get your bread right, and then go and play, because he plays the game a certain way. So I've kind of if I'm advising him, and I know Lamar Jackson is his own agent, so but if he were listening to me, because he is from Broward County, so your Broward County brethren say to you, yo, man, go put your feet up, drink some lemonade, relax, get your bread first before you get back out on that field, man, because any play could be your last play. And the NFL does not believe in being equitable when it comes to giving out money. They just don't. So if he has a career-ending injury without getting that money first, it would be tragic. And I hope that doesn't happen. And you mentioned RG3. I think anytime you have something that could be perceived as structural damage or structural weakness in your knee, the last thing you need to do in the way that he plays the game, which I think is comparable to an RG3 in his rookie year, is to go out there on a knee that is not fully ready for the way he plays the game. So I hope he does not play. So I've already in my mind eliminated him. I do say in terms of the AFC, you look at Joe Cool, you look at Josh Allen, and you look at Mahomes, and I would have to agree with you that the AFC looks stronger at the quarterback position. But from a team standpoint, I like the Eagles, and I'm not just saying it based on their record at the moment. It just seems as though they've been designed to win. And from a leadership standpoint, while Hurts might not be as dynamic in the pocket as some of these other AFC quarterbacks that we just mentioned, from a leadership standpoint, Hurts is a great leader. He needs to teach a leadership class at UPenn or somewhere in Philly, because from a leadership standpoint, the team seems to really resonate to him. And that, in playoff times, to me, outweighs what you can do mechanically or what you can do in the pocket. It's leadership that'll take you to the Super Bowl. I think that's my pick. I'm going to Eagles. I'm going to Eagles.
Well, I'm just going to say this. The Lombardi is going to come from the AFC side. One of those three quarterbacks are great leaders on their teams,
not too bad,
respectively. And I just think that it's just too much. There's too many weapons in terms of receivers on the AFC side. What do you think about? And now I know Mahomes doesn't have all the receivers that he had, but he still has that bad man running up the middle of the field.
Yes, he does.
Scoring like 2-3 times a game. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. So
and he makes other people look good because he makes
everybody said
that he wouldn't have any stats. Now that the cheetah is gone, and he's proven that wrong. Mahomes is a great leader too. Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, that has proven to be a match made in heaven offensively. So we shall see if indeed you could give us a prediction, a score. What would it be? Monday Night Football, Week 17 ends with probably the most important game. You've got the Buffalo Bills traveling to Cincinnati. The weather isn't going to be much of a factor. It's going to be close to 60 degrees. And this crazy up and down erratic weather that we have now, global warming weather that we have, it's supposed to be close to 60 degrees. So weather won't be much of a factor in this game. Could you give us a prediction of a score before we move on? I'll leave it with you. What do you say, D. Jones, our resident expert from the Buffalo Bills Mafia? What you got?
I'm going to jump through a table and say, see how I did that? Listen, I'm not new to this media thing.
I like that.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I would say the Bills 40-34.
40-34. It's going to be a good game. Monday Night Football. I'm going to have to holler at you, man. We have to do a beer together since we close, we local. I know you got
to do a table jump. A table jump. That's what y'all got to do.
Oh, no.
Somebody got to jump to a table.
Somebody got to jump.
I don't know why them people do that.
Bobby owes us a dunk. I was settled for a table jump.
I got you. Don't even
I was settled. Look, you on your next birthday. You're going to have the windmill by the time your birthday come up. When's your birthday?
You, bro. Don't even trip. I didn't mess around.
When's your birthday again?
We got it. Say again.
When's your birthday?
My birthday's in March.
So we coming up on your next birthday. You still have a dunk from the last birthday. So just do a table jump, and we'll cut it off. We'll cut the loss.
Yeah,
I know why you the way you are. You was born in the worst month of the year.
Oh man, Aries run the world, man. We just let the rest of y'all hang out with us. Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I'm gonna dunk on like the eve of my birthday because I used to do it once a year, once a birthday. What I'm realizing now is that's crazy. What I could do is I could piggyback and get one dunk for 2 birthdays. So that's called.
I don't know who signed that check that you just proposed, but I believe it's a dunk per year. You missed this year, so now that's an off year.
No. If you do it on the eve of your birthday, it counts for both birthdays. I was 45 about to turn 40. I was saying my age. I'm
I'm gonna tell
45
your
about to
wife
turn
that. So
46.
when it comes to your birthday cake, she's gonna be like, "We're just gonna do the eve of your birthday, and it's gonna count for both years. We don't get to sing happy birthday to you no more. We straight.
Hey,
We just
I
gonna do
hope
one time."
anybody thinking about buying me a birthday gift don't listen to that nonsense. I
I'm
wear
just telling you,
size
just get it to
large.
him on
I'm
the
down for
eve.
size large. Hey, I got some old stuff. I gave away some stuff for. I'll say this before we move on. I gave away some stuff for this winter drive that we have, warmth drive that we have, and I had 2X. I know we used to wear stuff bigger back then, but I had 2X coats. I'm wearing a large now, man. I'm going in the wrong direction. You know, I'm fading away, but it's all good. In
Yeah,
this
feed you,
episode
man.
of Transferring Energy, let's get into some college football, y'all, because we did talk about the game from an NFL perspective. And what I've learned very quickly, and I think the perfect bridge is this, is that we talked about the Hall of Fame. We talked about some of those decisions that were made. There's a bust in the Hall of Fame that has some wild hair, a man that played at the University of Miami. Because the conversation this week has been about a Hall of Famer coaching out of HBCU. And it wasn't Coach Prime. Ed Reed is going to Bethune-Cookman. Wildcats. Let's go. Y'all don't know about that, huh? Said my mom was a Bethune-Cookman grad. Bethune-Cookman used to be Bethune-Cookman College. Now Bethune-Cookman University is going to welcome Ed Reed. They are rolling out the red carpet. Matter of fact, making the yellow carpet because he got the jacket. He's a Hall of Famer. He's going to Bethune-Cookman. And I say this. The similarity, I say that the Coach Prime effect has been positive. And I think that Ed Reed taking this job, the similarity is this: both tried to coach at their alma mater, right? Dion put his name in the hat, Florida State. I don't know how serious they took him. Ed Reed has been player operations or whatever his role was, and I think tried to coach University of Miami. They both decided to coach at the HBCU. I am celebrating this because I'm a Bethune man in my heart of hearts. I am the byproduct of all the greatness that is there in the Daytona, Florida area on Bethune, Cookman, Mary McLeod, Bethune. I heard all the stories. I understand all of the history that is because my mom made me know that. So I'm a proud supporter of Bethune. This is a great hire. This is a great phenomenon. This is, I think, a great next chapter in the story of all of the back and forth that we heard in our own communities, in our barbershops, whether or not Coach Prime should be celebrated or whether or not he's selfish and he's a sellout. I just want to celebrate this moment. Ed Reed, Bethune-Cookman, shout out to him. All positivity. Let's go, Ed Reed.
Big fan.
I watched
of
the
Ed
game in this was in Jersey, this old spot, with these Ravens fans. And every time Ed Reed made a play, which seemed to be almost every other play, this one dude would just be so obnoxious and he would yell at the top of his lungs in the back of the bar, Ed Reed. And it seemed like, it felt like I literally was like, oh, I'm about to go crazy. But Ed Reed was that dude on the field. I hope and pray that he's that dude as a coach. Let's get behind him. Y'all go buy y'all some Bethune-Cookman gear. Just like y'all bought that Jackson State stuff. Just like y'all said, I believe. Just like Gilly the King and all these other people went to Jackson State. Y'all go to Daytona. Y'all support Bethune-Cookman. It's about time that y'all learn about the Wildcats. Wildcats.
You done?
Let's go.
Did you need no extra time?
Yeah, I did, man. That was, hey,
The-
shout out, man. My mom in heaven looking down, baby. Ed Reed, you're going to have the spirit of Betty Brown in you, baby. Go in and teach them kids. Make sure that they understand what it is, man. Get you some dubs, Ed Reed, because at the end of the day, people want W's. And they ain't gonna support you too long. You don't get them W's. Let's go, Ed Reed. Let's do it at Bethune-Cookman, man. You buy your Bethune-Cookman hat, both of you. Can I count on you to buy a Bethune-Cookman shirt or hat, please?
They'll
I'll
make
get one.
a 3X hat.
I'll
so I'm
definitely
straight.
get one.
You get one? All right, cool.
I'll definitely
We're gonna
get
have a
one.
Bethune-Cookman day on
I'll
this show,
just say
man.
this.
Support.
They don't have any songs at Notre Dame that you could dance to like that.
Go ahead, do it. Dun, 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 dun,
My
dun,
achy
dun.
breaky heart. Hey, what was the one song? What was the one song at linebacker they played all the time at the very end? I
Oh,
learned so
what a
many white
night.
songs on my beautiful campus. I
Oh,
love
what
me
a
some
night.
Notre Dame. What was it? What was?
Oh, what a night.
Oh, what a night.
I hate
Boy,
it.
you ain't never two-stepped the "Oh What a Night" you ain't lived yet, man.
It was a different type of two-step you was thinking about it. That song came on, but
I am obviously Ed Reed is. This is something that we should celebrate. I've been for the longest like, man, we need more high-level guys coaching, you know, at HBCUs, and we need more top recruits going to HBCUs. And these guys obviously can help bring those top recruits to HBCUs. Deion has definitely started something. Obviously, with Ed Reed being there, I think it's a great thing. Now, Ed Reed has been coaching for a while now. This is not his first year coaching. He was, when I was on TV and radio up in Buffalo, he was with Rex Ryan and those boys up in Buffalo coaching. And then he went down to Miami and coached. So am I the only one that thinks along the lines of how come, like, did he necessarily choose to go there, or is he not getting the opportunity to go somewhere bigger?
The story might be, what are you saying? He's at his alma mater and things are so bad in Miami, he bounced. That might be the biggest story.
He entered the transfer portal. He got that piece.
I mean, that was the biggest story. I'm like, damn, they need you. It felt like, look, man, they might need me here, but we are beyond it. Look, the way
he tapped Mario on the shoulder. I need your playbook. They can't even
call themselves the U anymore. They're the University of Miami of Coral Gables. They got to say the whole thing. They got to say the whole thing because it's gotten disgusting over there, man. They get pistol whipped all the time. Where's your friend? He don't even watch the show no more. He can't show his face.
Oh, Paul be disappearing.
I
was so bad on him after Miami got their butt kicked. I was like, oh man, it was bad. But I'll say this, man. Ed Reed, I think, embodies everything that the U. When we call it the U, those were the last years. And it is interesting that he has moved on. I thought that while he did have a position there, it should have been a more prominent position and maybe even been on the coaching staff. But that's not my decision to make.
I thought he was on the staff. Okay.
He was director of something football. They gave him a position.
They find different ways to put titles to get people on the field.
Yeah, and so he did. He got the sideline pass, but I don't know how hands-on he was with the coaching. And lo and behold, yes, indeed, he wanted to coach, right? Because you don't just take this job if you don't want to coach. To your question, D. Jones, I think it's a great question. Is sort of like, are we looking at it as this is the only way we're talking about two Hall of Famers.
That's what I'm saying. We're not talking about just guys that played.
Hall of Famers.
The best ever to do it.
Right. Hall of Fame. First ballot Hall of Famers.
Right.
Both of them.
And you're not going to find a better safety in the Hall of Fame than Ed Reed. I think he might be the best to ever do it.
I agree. I agree that he's
two of the best that ever did. I mean, like Hall of Fame. What does he say? They need to get a red jacket for some people, the starters.
Yes,
he would be a starter on the Hall of Fame team.
In the Hall of Fame, talking about, you got Hall of Famers, right? And then you have like the cream of the crop Hall of Famers. Like
reconcile that with, and then we gonna move on because transferring energy. Y'all not gonna get me in this space in 2022 when I'm about to get into 2023. But reconcile that with Jeff Saturday, who got a job while having another job, who he showed that he is not qualified whatsoever. And like, why is this
records.
man?
Hey man, he's making NFL history. What are you talking about?
Right.
And all the
biggest comeback ever.
For all of the wrong reasons.
Somebody got to be part of that.
But to your point, D. Jones, it's sometimes you don't have to say anything. We just point it out. These are two first ballot Hall of Famers, arguably the best to ever do it in their respective positions, both that had communicated very clearly to their respective alma maters that they wanted to get into coaching, that had to go to other places, HBCUs, in order to get their opportunity. And to me, it says something. And I'll leave it there. I'll leave it.
It definitely says something. Like you're talking about, all right, Deion could have been at Florida State. A Florida boy can get any kid to come to Florida from anywhere in this country.
Yep.
He doesn't get that job, has to go to Jackson State, now has to go to Colorado, and now try to convince kids to come to Colorado where the weather is what it is. That is a factor. You know what I mean? And now you're talking about another guy in Ed Reed at his alma mater in Miami who can get all of those Southern Florida kids to stay home.
Yep.
Now has to go, up to Daytona and and coach somewhere. It's kind of weird, man. And you see you see other people just slide into these positions with
Jeff Saturday was scheduled to do a segment on ESPN. Gets a call from a 317 number. That is the Indianapolis area code. And 8 minutes later, with a process that should be, and for me will be described as a sham, is the interim head coach of a National Football League team. That's crazy to me. Having a grand total of 0 head coaching experience.
0.
And you have an entire franchise that hands over. That's crazy to me. But we'll leave it there, man. Look, I'm rooting for Ed Reed. We got a commitment from the Big Flow Show. We got a commitment from my man D Jones. I'm challenging anybody within the universe that is the Ball Hog Sports Talk universe. Go buy you a Bethune-Cookman hat. It's Bethune-Cookman University now. It used to be Bethune-Cookman College. You go buy you a Wildcat hat and learn how to dance to this Wildcats. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Wildcats, let's go. And we talked about all that fam stuff. I had fam on here. We recorded this show from the University of Florida A&M University campus. And I just want y'all to know that that's our rival. And y'all not in the headlines this week. It's all about Bethune. Wildcats, baby. I don't know who this Jay Mitch is. He's talking about you will win another championship.
Julian Mitch, man. Shout out Julian Mitchell, man, showing his face. You know what? The Cowboys won last night. Otherwise, he would be hiding under a rock.
Yeah, he one of them. Oh,
you see the star right there.
Okay, I got you. I hope you saw the segment on y'all. How about them boys? How about them boys? They're gonna be out the playoffs so quick. They're going to be sitting there right next to my team, the Browns.
I'm going to call Julian Mitch.
Since you asked about Notre Dame, as you said it.
But he be sneak betting on Notre Dame. He be, hey, man, they're going to do it this week. I'll put some money on Notre Dame. Oh, okay.
Oh, he wanted them.
We good enough. Yeah, we good enough.
I'll take it.
On the secret number and stuff.
Quickly, let's run through these college football games, man, because we got to get into some topics, man, and that'll be how we end it. We're going to talk about some things that everyone wants to hear about. We're going to talk about this big bad transfer portal. We're going to talk about the NIL. We're going to talk about opt-outs in bowl games because some of these bowl games, yes, Notre Dame does play today at 3:30 in the Gator Bowl, and they play against South Carolina, who has played spoiler to not one but 2 teams and got them up out of there when it came to the college football playoff, both Tennessee and Clemson. So Notre Dame has to play today. I am rooting for Marcus Freeman, who in his last bowl game, which was his first bowl game, his first game as a head coach, gave up a large lead. I'm rooting for Marcus Freeman today. I think Notre Dame as a program has turned and is going in the right direction. It has been rumored that the Wake Forest quarterback, who has, after a great bowl game, has put himself in the transfer portal, will be heading to Notre Dame. So I don't know who's going to be the quarterback today, but I will be watching it. Other games to watch. You know, we got the semifinals. We have the Fiesta Bowl. You got TCU versus Michigan. You have the Peach Bowl. That's Ohio State versus Georgia. I want to make sure I got the bowl games right. Simple and plain, I'm picking Georgia to win it all. But let's go game by game. Just your quick pick, your quick analysis. D. Jones, got to put you on the spot. You got TCU at Michigan in the Fiesta Bowl. Who you got coming out?
TCU, Michigan. TCU is tough because they have so much speed. I just think that Michigan, they're just going to lean on them, man. It's just too much power for those boys up front. And if you know anything about football, the line play is where it starts, you know. Mm-hmm. And I just think that they have too much power up front on offense and the defensive side of the ball. And I think Michigan will pull that one out.
You pull a Michigan, and I'll go with you on that one. Big Flow Show. I know you picked already, but
Massage
say it
Envy's
with your
calling
chest.
me right now. I'm gonna let him go to voicemail though. But Massage Envy calling me right now.
Oh, Massage Envy.
They calling me right now.
Tell Massage Envy your manager ain't here
My manager's
yet.
not in. I can't take the call.
Who you got coming out of that? You got TCU at Michigan. Who you got coming out?
I got Michigan coming out of that game. JJ McCarthy, great kid from around the area, local area. I'm not going to do all the crazy Barrow County, all that kind of, because I actually don't know what county he's from. So, but Cook County probably. But he's coming out great kid. Got a couple kids we know on that team. I think Michigan's going to do it. I do wonder though, missing Corum is a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
Their identity of their
So
run game
it's confirmed he's not playing. Corum will not play.
I don't know that actually. I thought he was. What did he? I thought his injury was surgery, required surgery.
I don't know. I
don't
don't know
what he did.
I know it took him out of the Heisman race, but I didn't know if he was coming back.
Which he still could have won it. Anyway, I'm not gonna give too much credit to a Michigan dude, but yeah. So Corum out. That's gonna be tough, but I think they beat TCU. Their quarterback's got a lot go to him. That TCU guy though, he's got a lot of heart. I think.
Man, I like that kid. I like that kid. So while you're hot, we'll go to the other side.
Just lost to what's his name? I can't root for them. I can't pick them. They just lost to Kansas State.
Great game though. So
that was a great game. That was a great game.
Great game.
I know, but you're not gonna come win no national championship, but you can't beat Kansas State.
I mean, some of those, and that's why I think, and I won't get into the Notre Dame conversation on it, but those conference championships, man, you talk about any given Saturday, and you multiply that exponentially when you talk about conference championships, and you got, look,
Kansas State.
It is Kansas State. But
I mean,
they played them hard twice. It was a good game.
A tough game. Good game. Tough. Kansas State. You can't beat Kansas State. You can't win the championship. You can't beat Georgia. So we might as well just save the week of practice.
So I'm assuming that you're picking Georgia, Ohio State at Georgia. Who you got?
Georgia. I got Georgia.
Who you got winning it all? Georgia. So you got Georgia versus Michigan in the championship. Who you got winning it all?
Shit, it's hard to say this in front of everybody. Georgia, fuck that, Georgia.
Oh, I thought you were about to pick Michigan. I was like, okay.
I want to pick Michigan. To be honest with you, I hate to say this before the people, man, but I want Michigan to win just because I like the quarterback, man. That's my guy. I had him on check out my episode reshared by my wife recently on the Big Flow show where I interviewed JJ McCarthy. But anyway, they, I like him, so I like to see him win it. But it's hard for me to say. I mean, I have eyes too, so it's hard for me to say somebody's going to beat Georgia. I do have eyes in the brain.
Hey, you could have just said I have eyes without like stretching your eyes like this to emphasize I got eyes.
Big ass eyes.
Hey, D Jones. All right, so we got TCU winning the first round. Who you have winning Georgia, Ohio State? I know my man, your son Killer, is a big Ohio State fan, but you better say it with your heart, not with your say with your head, not with your heart. Who you got winning Georgia, Ohio State?
Listen, if he knows me best, he knows, and I don't care if he's my son, how old he is. He knows I'm picking against Ohio State. So you just got to go down like that.
Georgia, TCU in the championship. Who you got winning?
No, it's Georgia, Michigan. I got Michigan winning.
You had Michigan. I'm sorry. You got Georgia, Michigan, and
nobody has TCU.
I just think that Georgia, man, they've been the best team all year. I think they're too strong, man. They're too strong. Look, I say this all the time. Georgia and the SEC, they have line play, but then they also have skill positions. Whereas in the Big Ten, you might have like really good linemen. You have some good skill position stuff too, but the speed of the SEC that you're seeing week in and week out all year, when those Big Ten teams have to now come down to play against one of those SEC teams, they can't. Yeah. They just can't get it done.
You know why the SEC is and let's just be fair, why the SEC is so talented and so fast. Bryan County, they got them Bryan County boys up in there. Bryan County, Lauderdale, all up in that thing. It should be a good game. I think I'm going the same direction. I think the Michigan TCU thing is going to be a great game. And again, man, get your popcorn ready. We have been treated to an amazing college football season, and it has been fun to watch. Your man Jay Mitch is funny. He said they're definitely going in the right direction the offseason. Talk about Notre Dame. That's pretty funny right there.
He hates him so bad. Yeah, but you know I love my guys like him.
But he don't have that take that star down from his avatar or whatever, man.
He disappears. He disappears. He don't say nothing. Notre Dame will be winning. He has nothing to say, nothing. And then all of a sudden they lose. Overrated. They suck. They're trash. He just come out like he writes.
He's on us. Like he on it. He going the right direction, right? Off season. Now he say South Carolina
gonna get their head whooped.
Hey, listen. There's another good game today. Tennessee and
Clemson. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. The Battle of the Orange. Who you got winning that one? Tennessee, Clemson. I'm going
beat the hell out of them.
I'm gonna go Tennessee.
Beat the shit out of Clemson.
Is that receiver playing?
Ooh,
that's a good. So why don't we? So I'll let you guys pick, and then that's going to take us to our next topic.
You see how I did that? Yeah, I told
like
you I'm
that.
not new
I
to
like
this
that.
media thing.
I like
man.
that.
Oh,
I
Steve
like
Angeli.
that.
He's gonna give you guys a New Jersey shout out.
Yeah, I like that. Say again.
Steve Angeli, the guy Dave Phillipson is saying he wants to see Steve Angeli in the mix. He's from New Jersey.
He's from Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the kid from? I don't know what school he's from. That's the kid from Don Bosco.
I don't know where
Oh,
these
you
kids.
know.
I know he went to one of the parochials. I don't remember where. But your question is whether or not the receiver is going to play. It leads us to this opt-outs. We went from NFL to college, and technically, in the most technical terms, we went from professional to amateurism. But the truth of the matter is, when you look at these opt-outs, and when I say opt-outs, young men deciding not to play. I watched that Texas game last night, and there were some young men on the sideline. One had a big old gold chain with diamonds on, and they were talking about he opted out. What do you think about opt-outs? Because back in my day, at the risk of sounding old, I think teams would have perceived that as not having enough competitiveness, not stick-to-itiveness, no real commitment to your team, and it would have been a knock on you. Now, and to be fair, there have been injuries, Jalen Smith being one of them, that have cost people a lot of money, so you would understand it. As a player, your teammate opts out, and he's there on the sideline watching the game, and you guys need a big play, and he's not there. They were talking about needing pressure, and this particular defensive lineman wasn't there. They talked about how this linebacker would have made such a difference, and he wasn't there. He's on the sideline. I know it's big business. What do we think about opt-outs, the quick version of it? Because we're going to go from opt-outs to transfer portal. I'd rather spend more time in the transfer portal, but I just want to know, as former players, we all played the game. We all were in the locker room and had a bond and brotherhood with our teammates, and we all depended on them for whatever reasons. What do you think? Like, if you're in a bowl game and your teammate, your boy, your fellow receiver, right? Or even more so for you, D. Jones, your quarterback opts out. What do you feel about that?
I think if your quarterback opts out, if anybody opts out, right? But especially the quarterback, for me as a receiver, selfishly, it's going to be tough. But you got to understand, business is business, and everybody's been making money off the players forever, right? And these schools make so much money from these bowl games, and it's like, I'm not going out there when I have a chance to go, and I'm going to be a high pick. If I'm opting out because I'm probably going to be a high pick to go in the NFL draft. I'm not putting my body on the line. We've seen so many guys get hurt and tear ACLs or whatever in these pointless bowl games. Do you
think the fact that you played it in the NFL and had that business experience, in the sense that just how cutthroat the business is, do you think that influences your opinion on it?
Yes. I think it's one of those things you got to be in it to understand it. Even if you play college ball, you understand what you're putting your body through. And if anybody, like the big Flo show over there said, he has eyes. Like, you guys played at Notre Dame, right? You know how much money is coming into that school.
Right.
And you're like, bro, I don't know if y'all was getting paid. Y'all big Notre Dame. I went to a smaller school. We wasn't getting laced with money.
I know a lot of people at Youngstown. Y'all don't pretend now. Come on now.
Well, I'm just gonna say this. I don't want to age
free fries at the Steak and Shake.
Mean?
That's all the pay with y'all.
They are the NFL of that area. Youngstown, they love they love that team.
They love it. Now. You know what I mean? Listen, I still wasn't getting laced with money from boosters and stuff like I might have been getting that Notre Dame. I'm just gonna say that and leave that there. If I'm a high round pick and I'm not playing in, I can see the playoffs. I can see that. That's a little bit different. You got a chance to win the national championship. But if it's like a pointless toilet bowl, I'm not playing in that game. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and next year I'll tell my teammates, hey, look, next year if you got this opportunity, you better go take it.
Right. I gotta expect that. My man Jay Mitch, I think they're gonna drug test you, man. He talking about February 12th. They're gonna be crying tears of joy. Like, didn't I tell y'all? Like, right on time. Make sure, Jay Mitch, you go back and listen to that segment of the Cowboys. It's like right on time. Some Cowboys fans gonna come out of the thin blue air and all of a sudden assume they're gonna win the Super Bowl. You've been promising us that for 30 years, Jay Mitch, and I ain't never met you, and I know you've been saying it for 30 years. But I say that to say this in terms of the opt-outs, because there's a offensive lineman from Notre Dame who said, hey man, injuries come and go, but these memories are once in a lifetime. And I don't know the offensive lineman. I think he's a big-time prospect. But I would imagine, and again, I'm just making this assumption, but the socioeconomics of that man might be a little different, right? Whether he makes it or not, he might be good.
Right.
There's some people that a lot is on the line when it comes to this doggone bread that's about to be exchanged. Everybody ain't got it the same. So I think, even when it comes to that, man, it really boils down to what your situation is. And that's our answer to the Michigan running back. Say he's out. But I'm not mad at him either. I just think as a player, I'd feel some type of way if we could have won, or our chances of winning would have been a lot better with you being in the lineup. So I understand both sides, but it has become big business. And speaking of big business,
hold on.
Oh, my bad. Before I didn't want to know if you want to go opt out before you went transfer portal. The kind of one's insane.
Well, it's a couple things that have come up. I like being right, so I'm gonna finish off the thing that I've been predicting for a while. And the NCAA seeing the things my way. First of all, I don't like to opt out if you're in. There's a couple. Someone from Ohio State opted out. There's a couple.
Yeah,
at least one guy, huh?
And Jigba, I think the receiver.
Yeah, the receiver did. I don't really like that. Like that, I feel like when we playing here for a championship and you backing out of that, that's tough for me.
Yeah.
It's funny you said quarterback. I think I've ever heard of a quarterback opting out. Have you?
I was shocked at the Wake Forest kid who everyone knew was going to explore his options as a grad transfer play, because he's an NFL type player. Yeah. And it had been rumored that he was going to transfer to Notre Dame. I was shocked that he played, to be honest.
That would be weird, though, if you think about it. As a guy in good standing with his team who's not leaving because of anything other than just trying to find some green, the quarterback to really sit out. The transfer portal does make things interesting. But so for that, I can't get mad at anybody making a business decision, right? Because at the end of the day, like you're operating without a net. I do wonder this: will the NIL start to come into play? Because if I'm paying you to play for this school and I want to win this bowl game, or I want to win the playoffs even more, and I'm giving you this NIL money, is there going to be some stipulations in that saying you have to play in the bowl game your senior year? I think that's going to be an interesting thing. Or are people going to say you opted out, opt back in? You straight. We got you. Here's some money. Because
they have the Lloyd's of London insurance that can protect you to a certain degree. You can get the insurance for the game itself. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how Jalen Smith was able to cash in a little bit, although he lost money.
I mean, he still ended up playing too. Now, I will say, Julian finally has a good point that it is hard to pick these games without that. And I wonder how Vegas is like, damn, who's not playing again? You got to go back and see who's coming up. But I've been talking about this for a while. I think that the bowl games, the way to save the bowl games mentally to switch the focus is, all right, the playoffs are going to make the bowl games even less important. But what they did this year, the NCAA stepped up and said they're going to do freshmen. This game doesn't count towards your red shirt. So if you played your 4 games, you can play in the playoffs or you can play in the bowl game or whatever because of all the transfers and all the stuff that's going on. And I think if you change the way you look at the bowl game and think I'm looking at a future game, call this like an early spring game, so to speak, next year's squad. This is who I'm looking at. That will make us more excited about some of these games, because when you see that there's an opt-out, you're like, oh, man, these dudes ain't even playing. All right, let me see who's playing next year. Let me get the young guys in there. This doesn't even count towards them. You're going to get some of our prize freshmen that you haven't been seeing. I remember USC had it one time. They played at the end. I saw a freshman, get loose in a bowl game, and that was one of his 4 games. And I remember thinking, damn, okay, they got somebody for next year. That's the way they do it. So I'm happy the NCAA finally got something right and made that effort. But with all the people transferring and the way that the portal works, the portal door closes on the 18th. I'm looking at it and I'm kind of watching it now and thinking,
the 18th of January.
18th of January. So this is the first year of portal window. So December 5th, it opened up for Division I. There was like a staggered effect. The FCS went, grad transfers went, and then the regular underclassmen for FBS started December 5th, and it closed. I think it closes for everybody on January 18th. The weird part is, like, you can't blame some of these people for opting out because the opportunities are there. I know of a couple kids who are supposed to be transferring that I won't mention, but like they're still playing in bowl games. They got other things, so it really starts to tighten their window. I gotta skip the bowl game, or it's not gonna be something. There's not gonna be anything there. Nothing's gonna be left. So
So let's get into it then with transfer portal, because I posted something this week. It was an account from a young man, and it was a lower division, but it was an account of a young man who sort of put himself out there and made fun of himself because he put his name in the portal, had not been picked up, and he was basically saying that he might be forced to go right back to his old school with his tail tucked. And while it was a really good, I thought as a young man, a really good marketing thing for him, it showed a good sense of humor, but it also put himself out there as I'm in the portal. But more importantly, I think he was a spokesperson for the, I don't know percentage wise, but the countless number of young people that put their names in the portal and don't have another place to go to. But it also then triggered another conversation is everybody in the portal is not there voluntarily. Some people were persuaded to be in the portal because they wanted opportunities opened. The school wanted opportunities open for incoming portal people. I also posted something about Dion and his class and the 13 or so commits that had committed to Colorado that no longer had their commitment received by Colorado because, like Dion said, Coach Prime said, he coming with baggage. It's going to be Louis. He didn't have the spots for them. And so I say that to say this, because while on the most technical terms, we went from professional football to amateur football, from NFL to college, you combine the opt-outs with the transfer portal. And then at the tail end of it, I'll get to some NIL stuff. It feels as though, man, there is no difference. If now someone is encouraging you to enter the portal, how's that different than the Grim Reaper? I had the Grim Reaper tap on my shoulder. Hey, man, coach want to see you, bring your playbook. That's basically what that is. A coach want to see you and bring your playbook. That's basically what Coach Prime did by not honoring those commitments. Coach want to see you and bring your playbook. That's basically what these schools are doing by persuading or pushing or flat out shoving a mofo into this transfer portal. Coach want to see you and bring your playbook. And I'm wondering whether or not we're slipping into dangerous grounds. What do y'all think about the transfer portal? And because we glorify it as providing options to players, but the truth of the matter is that the percentages don't favor the players. We glorify it as the players having options, but the truth of the matter is that everyone's not in that portal voluntarily. I just throw it up in the air and we can go however you want to go with it, but it's starting to look a little like the unintended consequences of these options could be the players being treated like pros.
I think these schools are really benefiting from this transfer portal more than they're saying. They're crying victim on a lot of it, but if you really think about it, they're losing. Some of these guys are losing top-notch athletes like Wake Forest. They're losing a top quarterback to a Notre Dame and do whatever. That sucks. But for every quarterback they're losing like that, there's 4 or 5 guys that they recruited that they wish that they hadn't, that they're going to get out of that system. Michigan State, when their coach came in, Mel Tucker, he came in there. I think he put like 30 guys in the portal. Go. We got a kicker at Northwestern that was told, hey, you're not our kicker. It's time to go. You got to beat it. So these guys had to get in the portal.
Kicker. I don't count. I'm just joking.
Yeah, but you got people told that. I know of a person that was told, hey, we need you to transfer, and we have a school here for you that we want you to go transfer to. And the kid pushed back and said, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to go there. I'm ready to get a degree. I'm close to getting my degree. And they said, okay, fine. You're off the team. You didn't do anything wrong, but you're off the team. You'll be a regular student. You can finish your degree. You hear about a lot of guys medically retiring in June. And this is a red flag for me. You have to be at 85 scholarships by the time August 1st, I believe is the date. And people will be going into the summer, 86, 87 scholarships. You hear a guy in June tell you he medically retired. Well, what happened to you in June that wasn't in the spring? That now you're medically retired. Did you go a full pad practice when nobody was around? No, they told you, look, man, you got to go, or you can stay here and get your degree. And they talked to mom and dad, and they said, man, go and get that degree. And just chalk it up. Football is
just capitalism. Are we okay with it that way? And I'll throw it to you on this one, D. Jones, because a lot of this stuff, when you hear about it, look, we both have our sons played together. They're actually born a day apart. They both have talent that suggests that they're on a path towards having an opportunity like that. You've got a son that's already there. He's already arrived. He's already a receiver in the Big Ten with an opportunity. And when we hear about these things and read about those stories, it's just news until it becomes personal. And I don't know how I would respond if my son calls after you've recruited my son for, at that point, 2 years prior to him going to your school. After he's made the sacrifices necessary, working out and doing all the things academically he needs to do to be on track to graduate and to hopefully contribute at some point on the team. After he's gone through the process that is a maturation process of going away from home, you got my baby on your campus. I don't want you all of a sudden now to just treat it like business. We got to remember these are 18 to 22-year-old young men for a lot of these situations. I know we got the 6th, 8th, and 9th year eligible kids now. Damn it, 30-year-old kid with eligibility now at Oregon. But anyway, that's another story for another show. But you got my baby on campus, bruh. I don't know if I'm responding to that call like, it's just capitalism, it's just business. I'm going to want to put my hands on you, dog.
Yeah. So, man, there's so much when it comes to all of this stuff. So the NCAA, once they made it allowable for the NIL stuff, then they opened up they changed the transfer portal rules. It really opened Pandora's box to a lot of different things, right? So there's so much when it comes to the transfer portal because, okay, now you're talking about high school kids trying to be recruited. It affects, and me as a high school coach, we see how much it is affecting these kids trying to get scholarships coming out of high school because these schools, these college coaches have so much, they're making so much money. They have so much pressure to win right now that they're like, listen, I'd much rather have a kid come and play that I don't have to develop as much coming from another college versus a kid that I have to develop coming up from.
Doesn't that seem lazy?
High school.
Doesn't that seem like, because if you combine the transfer portal with that COVID year,
yeah,
the number of slots has been reduced significantly. And I'm just so happy that my son is not trying to come out right this
now.
second,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like the numbers are all messed up. It's going to take a few years for it all to
kind of balance
itself again. Yeah. But like, I don't know, man. It just something doesn't feel right.
But we used to fan bases, Notre Dame fan base, we used to give coaches 5 years, right? Before they had to show that they could do something before you want to get out of it. You want their whole class, whatever. Now you have 2 seasons. If you're not showing a mass improvement in 2 seasons, you're out of there. You can't develop a kid in that kind of time. So what you're seeing now, if you look at the recruiting classes, a lot of them are in the teens now, 16 kids, 15 kids, because they're bringing in 15, 16 kids. A lot of people that you would think would be ranked. Like I would think in Colorado, the way he came in, he was going to have a ranked recruiting class, not even ranked, because he's got a handful of kids. He needs to make a splash.
Since it's ranked now, but I get your point.
Are they ranked now?
Like in the 20s.
Oh, no, that's good. On early signing day, they were not ranked. They weren't in the top 50. And so you're going to go in there and say, okay, I can get a kid from an FCS school that I've seen play against college people, not whether or not this guy's high school. I mean, why do you think people from your high school or modern day high school or IMG, all these people, they give them credibility because we know the quantity, we know who they play, we know what it's supposed to look like. But if you're from some random high school, they're like, all right, you're killing, but who are you playing? I don't know who you're playing.
Right.
At college, it's less of a risk. All right, we're gonna take this kid. Kid just went from Ball State to USC. Sure, USC never heard of this kid. He was 5th or 6th in the nation in Russian. They're giving him houses and Bentleys to come over there now. Why are they going to take a high school kid that might be good when they know he just went over there? He needs to be good tomorrow. They're going to go get this guy. They're still going to get the 4 and 5 star kids and give them a chance to develop. But it's tough. As a quarterback today, if you're not the man, look at this Angeli kid at Notre Dame. It's a great example. He's not Buckner's the guy who's finishing out, right? He wasn't ready this year. They got the transfer coming in from Wake Forest. It's his job next year. They got a 4-star coming behind them, and then they got the Lloyd Carr's kid coming the year after next, who's a 5-star kid that they supposedly paid some money to.
Lloyd
This
Card
angelic
Cranston.
kid, you might as well go. You're not in the cards. You got to get up out of there. The transfer portal's killing those guys because you can't wait your turn anymore. If you're not a man in your freshman and sophomore year, you're gonna have to be playing someplace else.
It's so much, and so like I think going back to high school now, and this is what's tough because let's be honest, like you have a lot of just in terms of sheer back at home, you have single moms, right? And single moms a lot of the times don't know a lot of this stuff. And I'm sorry if anybody on here is a single mom, and I don't want to sound like anything crazy, but when these college coaches are coming in and they're speaking to these parents that have never been through anything like this, the parents don't really understand, and you have kids making choices to go to schools because, oh, I just love Notre Dame, or I love Florida State, or you know what I mean? And they're not really doing the research like, yo, I don't know if I really got a shot to go play over there. So I say all that to say you need to really do research and go where you can play right away now versus I'm gonna go to Alabama. And because you got kids transferring into Alabama, you already got All-Americans coming from all over the country. So it's like you might not ever sniff the field at an Alabama. You need to go to a Ball State or something like that, ball out. Like I was just telling one of the kids that I know, I'm like, listen, go over there and ball out. You're going to play right away. You're going to go over there, you ball out, and maybe your options will change once you ball out. You know what I mean? Maybe you can go transfer somewhere else, but at least take the scholarship where you have the money coming in and you can play right away. I think that is something that parents need to really pay attention to, and the kids need to pay attention to. Yeah, is you need to go where you can play right away. I do also think that the NCAA needs to set certain rules that says if you enter the transfer portal, you should have an opportunity to come back. Like, and I don't think that, like, we know colleges have always, there was never a 4-year scholarship. It's just, let's just put that on the table.
Signed a 4-year scholarship, actually. Northwestern.
Oh, he did?
Scholarship. Yeah.
See, I've heard that schools like Northwestern have something like that. Yeah. Like they honor that. Yep. But a lot of schools don't have that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
we was 1-11. I got to shoot something out.
It's like 1-year scholarships, and they've always tried to move kids out. Like they find reasons to get you up out of there. So now you have schools that are pushing kids into the transfer portal. And Deion just was blunt with it and on camera, like, yo, go ahead and enter the transfer portal. But schools have been doing this. Like, yo, yeah, we go ahead and enter the transfer portal because we got somebody else coming in. If they don't directly say it, they just bringing kids in that shows you, like, yo, you ain't got a shot over here. So
and mistreat you.
And I feel like –
and they mistreat you and sort of force you into the portal. And in this episode of Transfer
it happened
Energy,
before,
I guess,
right?
Say again?
It happened in our day, but back then you had to give up a year. So at least – some people mention at least you can go and it doesn't hurt you. But the problem is your dream of playing Power 5 is now probably going to switch. If you're getting pushed out, you're going Group of 5 at best, if not FCS.
My challenge is this, man. And thank you, Jay Mitch. I think he's getting out of there. And of course, Happy New Year with how about them Cowboys? Them Cowboys fans never stop. My issue is this in this episode of Transferring Energy, because the same energy that you have transferred, making it all about the business. In forcing a kid into a transfer portal, eventually it's going to come back to bite you. And we are sort of seeing it in terms of these kids making decisions based on NIL deals. It's becoming so much of a business that it's going to come back to bite you. And capitalism is a two-headed monster, and sometimes it comes back to bite you. The other issue that I have with the transfer portal is it being just this refuge for people to go to at the slightest sign of competition. And if every time there's some competition, the slightest sign of adversity, if every time that you're going up against an obstacle and you've got to fight through adversity, the go-to button, the panic button, the get out of jail free card is the transfer portal. We are developing a generation of kids that always thinks that is the solution. And beyond their playing days, they're going to get into a corporate space where there's going to be a challenge. Beyond their playing days, they're going to be in a family situation where marriage is the toughest thing I've ever been a part of. I think that subliminally we are teaching this generation the wrong lesson in the transfer portal, while ideally was an option. I think it is subliminally teaching these kids something that is going to come back to haunt us for a long time to come. Because if there was always a transfer portal, when it came to marriage, I'd have been in that Halle Berry portal a few times, man.
I tried to put me in the portal.
She'd have put your ass in the portal. But my
She
point is
to
that
the portal.
but some of the lessons that we learned, the hard lessons that we learned, the bumps and bruises that we learned by doing it the old school way, prepared us for the lives that we are living now. And I'm worried in this episode of Transferring Energy is that we're transferring this energy and we're kicking the can down the road instead of teaching a kid a tough lesson. I don't give a damn. In my recruiting class, now he ended up not going in there, but Randy Moss was in there, and I was looking forward to competing against someone that I saw on film was a freaking monster. I don't see that anymore. And as soon as the Wake Forest kid decided, or allegedly has decided to go to Notre Dame, the rumor started that our other quarterbacks are more than likely, almost certainly going to transfer. And that assumption and that environment and that transference of energy is, I think, doing a disservice to our young men. And I'll leave it there.
Now, let me say this. If you were a quarterback in Colorado and Deion is bringing his son, his son is going to start. Like he could go ahead and say, "Oh, they got to compete." Yada, yada.
There's some mountains you can't over. That's Mount Everest. You ain't gonna be able to climb that mountain.
You can't climb that.
You ain't climbing that mountain. That's different. That's different. That's nepotism. You ain't doing
that. It's just no getting around that one, right? So it's like, I don't know, man. It's the NIL and the transfer portal is open so much in terms of Pandora's box, and it's changing the sport even all the way down to the youth level. As Bobby, you and I both coach at, and we see these kids jumping from team to team to team, and parents jumping from team to team to team because their kid is not playing or their kid is not getting the ball.
Facts.
The parents are teaching the kids. First of all, the parents are going at the coaches crazy. How come my son ain't getting the ball? Now, we've always had that. But the parents are not teaching the kids, you need to go work and compete and show the coaches. It's just like, you know what, forget it. I'll go to another team.
And on the coach's side, to your point, D. Jones, and you've seen this as well on the coach's side, and this is the similarity with what you talked about. Big Flo show the coaches only having 2 years, so they're not worried about development. On the coach's side, you got coaches jumping from team to team to team, just trying to amass the most talent. And the art of football, which was on a coaching standpoint development, which was from a player's perspective development, the art of football, the nitty gritty of it, the stuff that we appreciated most as players, is going by the wayside. Nobody wants to develop anymore. And even at the youth level, a coach would just go find the best talent. Oh, let me just go attach my name to that. Yeah. And that's the part that I'm saying from Transferring Energy. We got to be careful of the energy that we're transferring and the messages that we're communicating to these kids, either a direct, overt message or just covertly with how we are approaching this thing. And that's the only thing I'm worried about on it. But I echo your point, D. Jones. We are seeing it at all levels. I'm just afraid, man. We got our boys are 12 now.
Yeah.
Right. And we're going to blink and they're going to be
before you blink.
They're going to be sophomores in college. Right. So it's cool to think of this from an analysis standpoint when it ain't our babies. But a man that's recruited my son for 2 years and promised him all of these things, when he gets on campus, wherever it might be, and now he's treating him as though he's just a tradable commodity and trying to force him into the portal. I know that God ain't done with me yet, but I'm putting my hands on you when I see you. We're going to have a conversation.
We want so much for these kids to be treated like adults until they're treated like adults. So we want them to get paid. We want them to be part of the big business. We want them to have the flexibility if they don't like whatever. But then we don't want them to be treated like adults. We want them to be treated like kids and amateurs.
I'm okay.
So it's a tough situation. And part of the choice that we have with our family, that pays into it. Going through college myself, where my career didn't turn out the way I wanted to, having a lot of injuries and things just not working out on the field as I thought they would. It's important the fact that they didn't tell me, hey, man, we need you to go ahead and go. They stuck behind me and I got my degree and, contributed where, the best of my ability, but things just didn't work out the way I wanted to. But I know a lot of people that came out of high school with me that went to different colleges around that did not finish there because it didn't really work out, and they got ran out of Dodge and never to be heard from again. Don't know where they went. Don't know what they did. And the scars that happened to get, that's the part that people don't realize is,
Yes.
A lot of people want to see you fall off the pedestal anyway. That dude didn't work out. Bobby wasn't as good as he thought he was. I knew he wasn't that good. I locked him
They
up.
don't use
Whatever
me
the
as
hell
an
they want
example.
to say.
Don't use not this Bobby. You talking about a different Bobby. I was all that,
I was talking
baby.
about Brainerd.
And then some.
Antoine, a different guy, Brainerd. But he wasn't whatever. But they don't really realize, man, like people don't really ask to be put on that pedestal. They play good at the sport, and the pedestal is just put underneath them. It's not like people really do that. They try the hardest to do it, but then half of these kids, some kids really love the limelight and just look at me. I get that. But I know for my son, he didn't like it. He didn't like the limelight and the attention like that. He likes to play football, but all that came with it, that was work for him. Right. So you get to a situation where things don't work out, and that we could do a whole show on the dark side of it and the mental scars of these kids when things don't work out. Especially these kids today that have been way more coddled than we were back in my day, back in the day of the belt that we grew up under, right? So these kids today, man, they're not really built for that disappointment and whatever. So when things don't work out, man, they go through it. And I know kids they're going through it now. And so careful what you wish for. I hope
Careful
my son can get a big payday, and I hope he can do whatever. I hope he never wants to transfer. I'm glad that if he did want to transfer, he could play right away. All that stuff is lovely. But shit, I don't mind him being treated like an amateur too at the same time.
Hey man, and I guess the moral of the story, and D Jones said it, the support system is not across the board the same in everyone's households. And so I would say to the hypothetical single mom out there that's going through this process with their child, make sure you reach out to someone that has gone through it, someone that you can trust, someone that ain't just trying to take advantage of your son. And the challenge is there's not a lot of people out there like that. As soon as your son is mentioned as a 4 or 5 star, here come the vultures. Here come the vultures. But some sound advice from someone that's been through it. Anybody that's got my number, I'm not providing it here, but anybody that's already got my number, I would be more than glad to have a conversation with you about the process, man, because I think when it's all said and done, and that's why I wanted to personalize it, because reading the articles is one thing, but when my son called me and told me such and such, I'm letting you know I'm ready to fight. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
I'm going to just say this, and I know, Bobby, you got a lot of people that that watch this show. Y'all might have people from school. I don't know if y'all have seen Bobby in that way. I seen Bobby transform into a different person a couple times this year. And I was like, oh, snap. I don't know this dude. Who is this dude? So when he say he puts his hands on somebody, just believe him when he say it.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, and I'm gonna leave it there because I don't want nobody coming at me saying I threatened them. So we'll leave it at allegedly. But I make the point just to say, man, when it hits home, and this episode of Transferring Energy, know that same energy, right? That everybody is applauding. Oh man, they got options. The universities have that same energy. And when you look at that transfer portal, the number of young men, because we're talking college football here, but it ain't sport, the number of young men that are in that portal with the number of opportunities that they can actually get don't add up. The math ain't mathing. So just be careful what we ask for and make sure you have some clarity and some understanding and you have some real trust and not just the coaching staff, because they come and go, in the university, and in your child's ability to navigate this world of what I would call professional college football. And with that, man, we just gonna get in the NBA. We ain't gotta do all that. It's college football time, man. I love this time of year, baby. And anybody and everybody got a bowl game. You can see a bowl game anytime and every time. But before we leave, because we had our amazing guest host, my man D Jones, formerly of the NFL and that team up there in Buffalo, Currently, not only is he a youth football coach, but am I allowed to? I'm not going to say this. Also, is I say you're a high school coach? I'm allowed to say that. Right?
Yeah,
Is a high school coach. I'll just leave
yeah.
it there. It is and does wonderful things for a lot of young men and their families. We want to kick it to you, man. Is there any way that people can follow you? I know you got a lot of media stuff there in Buffalo. Is there anything that we can support locally? Any way, anyhow we can support you? Let the people know we appreciate your contributions, brother.
Man, I mean, you can follow me on Twitter at DAJones19. I'm on Facebook. I wrote a best-selling book that you can get on Amazon called The Next Quarter, Scoring Against Kidney Disease, where it's my autobiography. I go through everything in my life growing up in the inner city to playing sick throughout my entire career in the league to my transplant and what I went through, having multiple surgeries with that.
Am I allowed to add to that because you opened up the door? So
yeah,
his NFL career was cut short by disease, and the story of his family. I love his son, but I also love his family. His father, indeed, was the person who gave him his kidney. An amazing family, an amazing man. I just add that, man, on top of all the great things I could say about you, man. It just it speaks well of who you are and the family that you're from. I interrupt just to add to it because you being humble. An amazing story, man. But go ahead, D Jones. I'll let you.
Yeah, finish. I mean, I've been through a lot since I went through a lot getting to the league, and then I've been through a lot in transferring, or not transferring. You're talking about transferring energy so much, and leaving out of the NFL and having to transfer into regular life. Which is, you guys both know, like, when you've been playing a sport your whole life, and everything is kind of laid out in terms of schedule and all of that stuff, and now you got to create your own schedule and go into the corporate world or whatever it is. It's a tough transition into regular life. I've traveled the world doing speaking engagements, whether it was doing with sports or dealing with kidney disease after I put my book out. I now work for the NFL and all the players and their NIL and branding and all that stuff. So I'll be working the Super Bowl, and my Bills will be in the Super Bowl this year.
Need some assistance carrying your stuff at the Super Bowl?
Carry your bags, dog.
Hey,
I got
man.
your bags.
Yeah, come on now.
I've been known to, I
gotta work media row,
back,
man. Let's see if we can get some passes and put the pod.
Yeah, let's field pass. Let's sideline pass. Nothing special.
But
I ain't asking for much.
Yeah, right. For real.
I don't even need a seat. I stand there right by the coaches.
I look forward to that. I actually start with the NFL next week. We've had plenty of meetings, and the Super Bowl prep is ridiculous. And as a player, that there's a lot. Been to a couple Super Bowls, that there's a lot that's happening. But to be on the other side of it now is just like, whoa. It's like 10 events every day all over. Super Bowl's in Phoenix this year, so it's like 10 events all over the city. Stuff just happening all the time. So it's a lot. I got to work Pro Bowl out in Vegas. I got to work Combine and Draft. The draft is in Kansas City this year. So, it's a cool gig. For me, obviously the job is the job. But I get to interact with these players because I am one of those guys that played. I was in the middle of negotiating a $20 million deal, which when I was playing, I was number 2 receiver. When I was playing, that was good money for a number 2. And in the midst of me negotiating that, boom, I went into kidney failure, and it was a wrap, so I never got to make that money that a bunch of my boys got to make. And so for me to be able to deal with these kids now that are actually doing it and let them know that NFL really does stand for not for long. Like, you're not going to play this game forever. At some point, you're going to be an old man with gray hair like me, and you're going to have kids, and you're going to be going through the same thing with your kids that you went through, and you're going to be telling them the same stuff, and you can be working a job or working business or whatever it is you're doing. So for me, it's a great thing to be able to teach them how to get their branding and make those connections and network while you're still playing. It's so important.
Right. Well, my brother, I've talked about you to anyone who will listen, man, but to be able to share you here on this platform, the Ball Hawk Sports Talk, has been an absolute honor, man. And, we can't get rid of each other now. Our sons were born one day apart. We connected through coaching, but more importantly, connected through our brotherhood and our friendship, man. It's an honor to know you, honor to coach with you, honor to see your growth and to see your next chapter. I wish you nothing but the best, man. And you always got an invitation to come to the Ball Hawks Sports. Now you wrong because your boy's about to get whooped on Monday night, but we ain't gonna keep that. We ain't gonna hold that against you, man.
Yeah, I thought we was ending the show on a good note.
My bad. You're right. You're right. Transfer energy. And I see that my girl Tonya says, have a great weekend and happy new year. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing on that be Saturday night, make sure you do it safe. Make sure you do it with the right mindset. This is the end of 2022. And the title, Transferring Energy, is about making sure that when you open this next door, that is 2023, you do so with the right frame of mind. You do so with the right energy. You do so with optimism. You do so with encouragement. You do so with faith. And you do so knowing that whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve. That is our word from the Ball Hawk Sports Talk. Y'all know we're going to ask you one more time. Please like, please comment, please share, please tag a friend, please tag a foe, please tag anybody that you know, and please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and the podcast. My man Big Flo Show alluded to my high school, which is the illustrious St. Thomas of Great Fort Lauderdale, Florida area.
Where?
Everybody down there, man. Y'all give me some of that warm weather, man. Mail it up here. This has been a great show. It's the Transferring Energy episode of the Ball Hawk Sports Talk. We got the Big Flo Show was in the building. We got my man D Jones in the building. I'm your boy, B Brown, ESQ, aka the Ball Hawk, aka the Mouth of the South, aka Mr. Excessive Celebration, aka Crazy. This has been a great show, man. It's been a great year. And with that, we is out. Peace.